Hey Film Buffs, welcome back to Film Feature 43, and welcome back to Who's the Biggest Slasher. In the last video, we talked about Jason Voorhees, so it's only right to talk about his frenemy in this video, and that is Freddy Krueger, the Slasher of Springwood. So without further ado, let's get into talking about the kills. First kill of the entire franchise is Tina, who gets chased and levitated, drug across the ceiling, and finally slashed where she's allowed to fall back down to the bed in a very iconic kill. Grease, her boyfriend, is then arrested and hung by bed sheets in his jail cell. Jack Sparrow is then pulled into his bed, causing a geyser of blood to shoot up into the air.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
And Nancy pulls the dream demon into the real world, hitting him with a sledgehammer and a coffee pot, blasting him with gunpowder, eventually catching him on fire for the second time, where we get a really awesome fire stuff. Freddy then kills Nancy's mom, who turns into a charred corpse and floats into this weird bed abyss. And just like Tinkerbell, Nancy finds out that if you don't believe in Freddy, he can't live, so she renounces all of the power that she gave him, and Freddy disappears. Until he returns in a stinger that none of those kills I'll count, but I did want to show the awful blow-up doll that they used as a stand-in for Marge. In Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, Jesse is the newest tenant of the Elm Street house, and the first kill of the movie is his coach, who is stripped down and lashed and slashed in the shower. Later, Freddy hatches out of Jesse's chest before killing Jesse's best friend, and it still appears that it's Jesse doing the killing until Freddy shows up in the real world and goes on probably one of the biggest killing sprees of his career, where he kills 7 partygoers and then decides to leave before he gets himself shotgunned. Freddy is destroyed by the power of love, but we do get an end scene stinger of a dream where a girl gets chest bursted, but I believe that's just in the dream. I won't count that as a Freddy kill for this movie. The next film in the series is Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, and we get a new protagonist in Kristen, who has the power to pull people into her dreams, but she's sent to a mental asylum when it looks like she tried to harm herself. Nancy Thompson from the first movie returns and is called into Kristen's dream when a Freddy worm is trying to eat her, and she saves Kristen with stabbing Freddy in the eye.
Oh my god.
Puppet Master Freddy makes a kid sleepwalk off of a clock tower, followed by having Jennifer enter the prime time.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
And then Freddy creates a Spencer's Gift t-shirt by putting needles on his fingers and causing Taryn to overdose. Will the Wizard gets killed by some finger knife slashes, followed by Nancy's father, who's killed by a Krueger skeleton, and then Nancy is stabbed herself before her love interest can push Freddy's bones into a grave, blessing them with holy water, giving him a proper burial, defeating him in the dream world. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Dream Masters opens up with Freddy being resurrected by some fiery dog pee, which leads to the death of my favorite character in these later Friday films. We then get like an erotic waterbed drowning, followed by Kristen's mother drugging her for some reason, causing Kristen to fall asleep. Then the final girl from the last film pulls our new final girl Alice into her dreams, giving her dream powers and allowing her to get dream powers from other people who are killed by Freddy. The real life Kristen is then killed by being caught on fire, and then Alice's friends start to get picked off one by one, where the asthma girl is deflated, the Ralph Macchio character fights an invisible Freddy in amongst a bunch of sheets, and the weightlifting girl gets turned into a bug and squished in a bug trap for some reason. Alice, like I said, absorbs her friend's powers and fights Freddy in the dream world before showing him his own reflection and reciting some dumb rhyme that doesn't rhyme, and then that for some reason kills him in this movie. Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, is in my opinion the worst Nightmare movie in the whole franchise. It starts with Freddy being reborn as this weird skin tadpole thing because Alice is pregnant and her baby is dreaming.
It's a boy!
Dan, Alice's boyfriend, then gets killed 3 separate times, once by crashing a truck. So when he wakes up from that dream, he decides he's going to take a motorcycle, where he crashes a motorcycle, and that leads to him crashing his truck in real life. Greta is then stuffed in a weird dinner scene dream where she chokes to death in real life, and Mark is slashed in, to give credit to the movie, a pretty good effect, and he's crushed by shelves falling on him in the real world. Alice's baby is now 7 for some reason, and turns into this weird Freddy kid thing.
Let's go. I want to learn stuff from you. She's no fun anymore. Teach me.
Who stabs Freddy with his tongue through his chest, and then Freddy turns back into a baby and is absorbed into his nun mom's stomach, and the movie ends with Alice having her new baby. The final Freddy film in the original timeline is Freddy's Dead, and it opens with there only being somehow one teenager left in Springwood, Ohio. Freddy uses John Doe to bait his actual offspring back to Springwood so he's able to leave and spread his Freddiness throughout the world. Carlos' head blows up and Spencer gets power gloved.
You forgot the power glove!
John Doe gets nailed, and we find out that Maggie is actually Freddy Krueger's daughter. Freddy can now leave Springwood, and we get a flashback showing that he killed his father and his wife before the requisite Freddy death scene comes in the form of a pipe bomb.
Happy Father's Day.
Kids.
Wes Craven's New Nightmare opens up with Nancy coming back, but it's actually not Nancy. It's Nancy's actress Heather Langenkamp as herself. 2 movie techs are killed by a robotic Freddy hand, followed by Heather's husband, who is killed in a car crash. What's happening is there's a Freddy demon that was being kind of caged in by the Nightmare films, and since Wes Craven isn't making them anymore, he's free to roam the real world, and that leads to the death of Heather's babysitter being killed in a kill that is very similar to the one that started it all, where she's drug up onto the ceiling, but this time we actually get to see what Freddy's doing when he's dragging her on the ceiling. The Freddy demon then gets Hansel and Gretel into a furnace after wrapping Heather up with his weird long tongue thing, and he burns, turning into an actual demon, ending the movie with Heather and her son being safe in the real world. The next movie in the Nightmare universe is Freddy versus Jason. We've already counted Jason's side of the kills, so let's jump into Freddy's side. We start with a flashback of a little girl who Freddy kills right before he gets fired, and he's too weak because people don't believe him anymore, so he recruits Jason to start doing the killings. And Jason scores a few, even though Freddy tries and he's still too weak. Jason starts going off on his own, killing people that Freddy was trying to kill. We get 2 flashback kills in Laurie's mom and Mark's brother before Freddy gets his only kill in the modern timeline of this movie with Mark's kill. Freddy then possesses Freeburg, but Jason actually gets the kill in that regard, and then Freddy's pulled in the real world where he starts fighting Jason, ultimately being decapitated. So in Freddy vs. Jason, Freddy got 4 separate kills, 3 of which were in flashback, and 1 of which actually took place during the movie itself. So to wrap up Freddy's kill count, let's talk about the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which came out in 2010. Freddy starts off with a really brutal and kind of visceral kill where he forces Dean to slash his own throat. Chris then gets finger knifed across her chest in a kung fu remake of the original kill that started it all, and her boyfriend Jesse is then chest bursted in prison. Mr. Krabs then lights Freddy on fire.
This ends tonight.
And we get some past computer kills that are kind of archived as Freddy doing it, but I don't want to start counting kills that we don't know for sure that were Freddy, so I won't put them on the count. But the final kill of the movie is actually one thing that the remake did a little bit better than the original, and that is the Mama Marge kill. This time he kind of takes the Candyman approach and bursts out of a mirror, killing and impaling her through the head, pulling her back into the mirror, which I think was a lot better done than this. So that's the last film we got in the Friday the 13th canon so far here in 2025. That being said, Freddy has 45 kills over 9 movies, averaging 5 kills per movie, and on top is Nightmare on Elm Street 2, because of that pool scene, that bumped Freddy up to 9 kills, making that his deadliest movie. With that being said, so far Freddy is our least deadly killer in all the slashers. Jason is still number 1, but let's see if it stays that way when we head to Texas for our next video. So until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.